So what we did for this part is we showed a picture of it when it's 2 days old for task 1, and we said these increase by 2 each time, these increase by 1, and the circle stays the same. And the state.
And then the state for task 1 we put start at 1 circle, 1 hexagon, and 2 diamonds. Increase by 1 hexagon and 2 diamonds per hexagon each time.
And then for task 2 we showed our pattern. We increased it and continued it until we got to 34. There's 22 diamonds, 11 hexagons, and 1 head, which all added up to 34 body parts.
And for that state we put the caterpillar is 11 days old when he or she turns into a butterfly, 34 body parts. We know this because there are 11 hexagons, 22 legs or diamonds, and 1 head, which all together equals 34 body parts. We know it's 11 days old because how many hexagons there are is how old it is. For example, if it was 5 days old, there would be 5 hexagons.
We drew the caterpillar at the 1-day-old stage, the 2-day-old stage, and the 3-day-old stage. And we noticed the patterns that for the legs, or the diamonds, it increased by 6 each time because it goes 2, 4, 6, so it increases by 2. And then for the hexagons, it increases by 1 each time, so when it was 1 day old, it's 1, and then 2 days old, it's 2 days old. And for the state?
For state, the patterns we used are that the diamonds increased by 2 each time and the hexagons increased by 1 each time.
And then for task 2, we know that since the diamonds increased by 2 and the hexagons increased by 1, we know that it will be a total increase of 3 each time. So we started from the 3-day-old point when it had 3 shapes, and we kept adding 3 until we got to 34, which was 11 days old, and we drew a table to show that with our
The caterpillars will be 11 days old. We know because it increases by 3 each time. Because the hexagon increases by 1 and the diamond increases by 2. And we know that 2 plus 1 equals 3, and if you add 3 each time and you start at 4, it is 11 days.
We did something a little different. We didn't use a table. This is what we did.
For show task 1, we put each time the caterpillar increases 1 body part and 2 legs.
Also,
and as it shows here, we put there's a head, and then there's a body, then there's two legs, and then on day 2, we're just gonna add a body part and add 2 more legs. And if we put in that number 3, we would have had 3 body parts, 1 head, and 6 legs.
we also found another pattern, but we couldn't fit it on paper. We noticed that at 1 day old, the number of legs is equal to the number of other body parts. 2 days old, the number of legs is 1 more than the other body parts. 3 days old, the number of legs is 2 more than the other body parts, and it will keep increasing by 1 and being 1 more than the body parts each time.
Also, we got when it's 3 days old, I'll have 10 shapes. When it's 6 days old, you have 19 shapes. And if it's 9 days old, it'll be 28 shapes. Then we just added 2 more days, and we got 34.
And for our state for task 2, the caterpillar will be 11 days old when he has enough shapes to transform into a butterfly, because 11 days old will be when he has 34 shapes, and that's the number he needs to transform.
And for state task 1, each day the caterpillar increases 3 more parts, 2 legs and 1 body part.